Hey, what's up, Kyle here. I want to talk about a very just interesting thing. I find it an interesting topic for wrestling fans because it just gets used so much, and that is the term wrestling. Um, in pro wrestling, a lot of wrestling fans, and it's a huge chunk of it, people that have these thoughts and these opinions are from the internet wrestling fans or the internet wrestling community. Excuse me. Um, I consider myself a true wrestling fan, a hardcore wrestling fan. I do not believe that you have to be an internet wrestling fan or you have to know all internet darlings, wrestlers to be a wrestling fan. You could be a casual wrestling fan, but yet still be a fan of wrestling, even if all you know was WWE or WCW, whatever. Um, you know, but there's the stigma that the internet wrestling community have used a lot on the internet, and to me, I find it just a little annoying. And that is, this person can't wrestle, or this person needs to wrestle. They need to bring more wrestling. Wrestle, wrestle, this wrestle, 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 wrestle. And I'm not talking about wrestling in terms of say, like there needs to be more wrestling in a particular show. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the individual, the talents themselves, that make up the roster for these various wrestling companies, whether it's TNA or WWE. I'll start for an example. A lot of perfect John Cena. I'll use as an example. People bash John Cena and say John Cena uses the five moves of doom, which he does have. I agree with that, and that John Cena can't wrestle or he doesn't have any good matches or whatever. Um, can John Cena wrestle? Is he like a technician or wrestler like a Bret Hart, a Daniel Bryan, a CM Punk? No. Does he have five moves of doom? Yes. Does he get beat up 90% of the match only to come back 10% doing three moves and then he wins? Yes. That gets annoying as hell. That's all part of John Cena's persona, his character. That's what I hate about John Cena. However, to go down and look at John Cena's career and say he has not had good wrestling matches, I think that would be a little bit asinine, to a degree, to say that. John Cena's had good wrestling matches with Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, Triple H, Randy Orton, when they didn't shove their feud down our throats, last year and the year prior to, or recently last year and the year before. But they had good matches. Edge, I enjoyed this match with Bobby Lashley. I thought that was a solid match that John Cena had. So, there are some good matches that John Cena has had in his career. And sure, you could say, well, look at those people that you've listed. Triple H, you can probably put Triple H. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. They're all technical wrestlers, so they had to carry Cena. That may be, but to basically say that, it takes two to tango, and not, you can carry somebody during a match, but there's no way in the world you can carry somebody 100% to the fact that, or to the point that, you're pretty much wrestling a broomstick. And I won't say John Cena is that type of wrestler where he's like, whoever he's going up against, whether it's a CM Punk or a Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan, whatever, that they're wrestling a broomstick. They may carry him in certain aspects, in certain ways, and maybe have to force Cena to be a little bit more versatile. But to say that, those were not good matches that Cena has not had, that'd be a little bit asinine. And so I'm saying all this to say, I'm using John Cena as an example, is because a lot of wrestling fans want, a lot of technical wrestlers like your Daniel Bryan. They just want like a roster of like Daniel Bryans, in ring skill wise, and let them be like the main eventers and everything else. And my thing is that, wrestling needs to be versatile. You need some difference, some new flavor in the main event. Not everybody is going to be a sound in-ring technician like a Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry. It's never been that way in professional wrestling. It never will be that way in professional wrestling. And I know that, granted, I know Ring of Honor, ROH, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Noah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah in particular, have a lot of sound in-ring technical wrestlers. But those are underground companies. When you're talking about big major global companies like WWE, or when WCW was in its prime, before it died, you had versatility, you had diversity, and diversity is good. And I think that a lot of wrestling fans, most notably the internet wrestling fans, because they're so used to seeing grapples and just gritty, aggressive style wrestling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in Ring of Honor or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and even NXT to an extent, you would get that. I think that they think that, when it comes to WWE, Raw, and SmackDown, and even TNA to a degree, that all wrestlers should, wrestle that Ring of Honor, NXT, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, aggressive, technical style. And it's like, not everybody's going to do that. I'm sorry. You're going to have your technical wrestlers like your Daniel Bryans. You're going to have your high flyers / technical wrestlers. I think Seth Rollins is a technical wrestler. A lot of people consider him a high flyer. He is a good high flyer, but he's a really good in technician to me. So you're going to have that. You're going to have your big powerhouse wrestlers like your Roman Reigns. You're going to have your good mobile, big husky wrestlers like Bray Wyatt or a Luke Harper. Diversity. Diversity is always good, because if everyone on the roster and if everyone on the main event were technical sound wrestlers like, Daniel Bryan, yeah, it'll be a great wrestling match, don't get me wrong. But it'll kind of get bland. You need to mix it up just a little bit. I don't think you have to have, every match has to be a Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk match to be a good match. And that's why I think that the internet wrestling fans who call themselves true wrestling fans, whatever, or the only hardcore wrestling fans, they take that and they just say, this person can't wrestle, or that person can't, this person needs to wrestle more. And it's just like, it's a stigma that's getting stale within wrestling. I'm tired of saying it. I think it is a term that is overly used way too much. I'm not saying all these things in defense of John Cena, because you guys have followed my channel for years. You guys know I'm not a fan of John Cena. I think his character is bland, but I think he's a perfect example of getting what I'm trying to get, my point across, so to speak. Bray Wyatt is not the most technical wrestler, but he's a good wrestler for a man his size. Luke Gallows, same thing. People are already complaining about Roman Reigns being the next John Cena and only having 5 moves: the spear, Superman punch, the kick from outside the ropes, and some other moves in his arsenal, or 3 moves of them, they may even call it. So people are already complaining about Roman Reigns and how he's going to be the next John Cena. It's going to be the same thing again. I think it needs to be a little bit versatile. The reason why I'm not harsh on Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns' in-ring moves, they are a little bit limited right now. He can still improve more. He still has more years to improve. Thing was John Cena. John Cena has not improved at all, period. Roman Reigns can still improve in adding some things to his in-ring repertoire. But if not, reason why I won't be as harsh on Roman Reigns I would on Cena's, because Roman Reigns is new, he's fresh, and he's a badass gimmick. So, yeah. As Michael Hayes always says, you're always going to get behind the new faces and new people that rise up within the company. Problem is, will fans stay with them? I will stick with Roman Reigns. I prefer him better. As long as they don't mess up his character and make him so kid-friendly, they keep him as he is, I'd be fine with him. So, comment, subscribe, give me your thoughts on this topic. Peace.